All right, guys, welcome. Glad you're here. You know, back when I lost weight, the weight, and rebuilt my life about 10 years ago, it wasn't just about diets and workouts now. I changed the way I ate and I worked out really hard, but it was about a lot more than that. And it would not have started if it wasn't for this, the mindset. The mindset that I had and that I developed started everything. I came up with I thought a lot about this. I came up with 9 core principles of how I changed, how I think, how I act now. I really did some thinking about this before I decided to do this video. So let me ask you, if you had to pick one item, one principle, what would it be that makes you successful, or either maybe it's the reason you're not successful? What would be that one thing that defines your success? I'm going to give you 9. Mike Norris here, and these 9 things, and they're sort of kind of in order, not exactly, but number 1 was I made a decision, and I made a decision like that in an instant. I've told this story many times before. I got out of the shower, looked at my body, saw my fat gut, and I made a decision right then and there that I was getting this weight off. Now, you got to be kind of careful, because a lot of times when you make a decision, you want everything to be perfect, and perfection is the enemy of progress. You don't necessarily want perfection. You just want to get better. And that success comes from consistent, like I say all the time, consistent, unsexy, actions. Consistent. Having that discipline to do it. It might be boring, but that's where the magic happens, those consistent daily actions. And I made a decision, and I did 3 things that very night. I went for a walk, I went in my kitchen, I threw junk away, and I got on the internet and I started doing some research on healthy eating, because I was eating terribly and a lot of fast food and stuff. The second one is I took action immediately, and I just said that. And this follows me up. Even now, you hear me talk about it all the time, get 1% better each day. If you can just get 1% better each day. So many people, they want it all in a month. Like, why can't I lose 30 pounds in a month? Well, it just very seldom happens. It can happen. I lost 35 in 7 weeks, but it takes a lot, and a lot more than most people are willing to give. So, take action. You've got to take actions, get 1% better, and you'll learn and you'll improve and you'll get feedback as you're taking action, and some things will work and some things won't. The third thing, and it's kind of finding your purpose or your why. And this is kind of funny. When we're young, our why seems to always be about money. We want to make more money. We want to reach $1 million. We want to make $100,000 a year. I was like that. You always want to make extra money in the military and having part-time jobs and doing different things. You just want to make more money, and we become kind of obsessed with it somewhat. But for me, it became about family. It really became about my family and being around for them, for kids, grandchildren, and being around for the long run, and being able to help them. I knew I'd always been in great shape. I went through a couple of years there where I gained weight. Then I went for 2 years where it was absolutely terrible with the eating and stuff I did. And I wanted to make a change. And my health was declined really fast in those few years, because I was in my late 50s. And so I found my why. And it's doing it for your family, for being around for those grandkids, great-grandkids. Also, it can be peace. You might want peace. You might want growth in other areas. You might be contribution to society. It could be happiness. It definitely can be happiness. It could be love. It could be a lot of different things that you want to do. But I found for me that it was family. Your self-image, that's the next one. Your self-image improves over time. It doesn't improve overnight. And as it improves, your self-image improves, several other things improve. Your confidence improves. You get more confident in what you're doing. You see yourself getting results, you get confidence. You make better decisions. I had the decision at number 1, But a lot of times the first decision you make may not be the best, or it may change a little bit because you make better decisions. Decisions that match more about what you want when you realize my why is this, I'm doing this for this, and things may change a little bit. Next one is a little weird. It might sound a little weird, but get outside of society's box. Society puts us all in a box. Kind of, you're middle class, you're lower middle class, you're this, you're that. You can't do this. You don't have the education to do this, do that. You can't do that. But guys, think for yourself. And learn what truly works for you. I've said this so many times in the fitness industry, you could have two twin sisters or twin brothers, and what worked for one of them may not work for the other one for a lot of different reasons. You need to have your own vision of what you want to be like, not what everybody else thinks you should be like. Have a vision for what you want to be like. It doesn't matter if you're 50, 60, 70 years old. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 10 years? I think about that a lot. Some of the financial stuff I'm doing is based on 5 years, it's based on 2030, and in 10 years based on 2035. You got to look ahead no matter what age you are. So don't let others make your vision for you. And that happens with a lot of people. Now the next one is develop an awareness, and you're going to develop awareness as you go through the process. And that involves trying new things. The last 2 years, the ages of 65 to 67, I've taken my body to another level. A level that I wouldn't believe that it would be in. I got a six-pack right now. I'm in really good shape. I need to improve cardio, and I am doing a little bit more cardio. But just develop that awareness and try new things, find new friends. You'll be surprised. You start finding new friends as you do different things. Like when I started hiking more and going different places and traveling. In the gym, I meet new friends. Obstacles are going to come up. And you might have to take a little detour. In the weight loss industry, some people, they try something for a week, it don't want to work. They want to zig. Now keep straight ahead. But some people, I had to tell them, hey, you need to try something else. You've been doing this for a while, it's not working. Let's zag a little bit. Try a little something else. Those obstacles, look at it as an opportunity. If you can figure out how to get around those obstacles, over them or whatever, that's a big opportunity. A big one I developed was belief in yourself. I believed in myself in certain areas of my life. And some I didn't. And in the last 10 years, with my growth through losing weight, becoming a weight loss coach, fitness coach, doing things, doing these videos, I've got out over 200 videos in about a year. That's a lot. That's a lot of videos in a year. And they all aren't that good, I know. And I don't do a lot of editing or anything. So like this one right here, it probably will not be any editing unless I have to cut something off at the start or off at the end. Although I am trying to learn how to edit a little bit to make fancier videos. But this is kind of what I like, what I'm doing. And so, believing in yourself takes a while. Your emotions are powerful, but your emotions can mislead you sometimes. So be careful about that. You get emotional, you go down the wrong road. Right now in our country, emotions are just taking over. People are going crazy, reacting completely crazy. So, also you're going to grow. That's another one, growth. And you're going to grow in a whole lot of ways at any age. So what I like to do is pause and reflect on the last few months, last year, whatever, and try to act with clarity and intention when I do things. And your attitude improves. You almost could put that in the top 2 or 3, but it doesn't really matter. All of these kind of work together, go together, develop. Your attitude improves. You want peace. That's what I want. That's why I love it when I'm outside the country traveling, when I'm in the mountains, when I'm away. I was in Vietnam for 2 months, a little over 2 months, 5 different hotels. Every one of them had a TV. I never turned the TV on. I didn't want to see all this bull junk in the United States going on. I don't want to hear it. Unfortunately in the U.S. you hear it from your friends, you hear it from other people. When I was in Vietnam, the only Instagram and TikTok, none of that was on my phone. Just Facebook, and I very seldom looked at Facebook except for my page to see if there were messages or something, or to put up something every now and then. It's just so peaceful when you're out of the United States and you don't have to listen to all this crap. And that's something that I really like. So what I've done in those last 10 years or so in developing, I've built a foundation, I think, that'll last forever. These 9 principles are really big, and there's people that's got 5, there's people that's got 20 principles, all this. This is just, I looked at a lot of different things, and I came up with these 9 that I use pretty much daily in everything I do, fitness, finance, my daily life. I use these 9 principles some way, shape, or form. Big thing, folks. Don't compare your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 20. I ran into this in the weight loss industry so much. Somebody that just started weight loss, they're comparing themselves to somebody that's been doing it for 90 days, 6 months down the road, and they don't understand why they can't move along as fast. You can't compare yourself to other people. You're trying to get 1% better every day, remember? And you'll get to your goal if you stick with it. If you got a weight loss goal or some type of fitness goal, whatever it is, some type of financial goal. Like I put money into certain things every single week. It goes in there every week. And down the road, like I said, I got 5-year, 10-year goals, but same thing with my fitness. I 1% better every day. I'm constantly working. So you're your own person. Go at your own speed. Don't let other people talk you into nonsense. Now, if you hire a coach or somebody, they're there to help you. That's great, but you can't compare yourself to people that they're coaching that's been doing stuff for years or months. They're ahead of you. You'll get there. Just stick with it. So guys, if this video hit home, leave a comment. I appreciate it. And I appreciate it if you subscribe and share the video. And I'll talk to you guys later.